Bill O'Reilly apparently did not like the inauguration speech either. He shares a concern of fellow conservatives that perhaps the president might actually be a Democrat. So let's let him explain.
Rather than focusing on America's vexing problems like an exploding debt and a weak economy, Mr. Obama put forth that the nation's top priority must be imposing social justice. It is simply impossible to do what the president wants to do, ensure prosperity and fairness for every American. Can't be done, no matter how much money you spend.
That's awesome. So he's trying for social justice. Well, you got him there. Boy, that'll sting. Social justice is a dirty word on Fox News. And no matter how hard you try, you're not going to get fairness in government. Don't be ridiculous. Why bother? It's one thing to say, hey, not everybody in the country can be prosperous. That's true. It's another thing to say the government shouldn't be fair to everybody. You can't reach for fairness. No, of course not. How crazy is that? I mean, of all the criticism of President Obama, this seems to be unbelievable in the sheer audacity of saying we shouldn't even try for justice or fairness. He continues.
The president is willing to go down in history as a crusader for social justice, no matter what happens to the economic fabric of the country. He does not want to cut government spending. He does not want to reform entitlements that are now directly threatening the American Treasury.
Ah, there we have it. So what he actually means is, if you're trying for social justice, that means you might raise taxes a tiny little bit on millionaires and billionaires. Well, we can't have that. That would hurt our economic prosperity. Like, for example, when President Bush lowered taxes for the rich, what happened? Oh, right. It didn't help our economic prosperity at all. In fact, it wound up hurting it tremendously. We've had terrible recession, obviously, in 2008, and overall stagnation in wages in just about every economic category after we passed the gigantic Bush tax cuts. But of course, Bill O'Reilly represents the incredibly rich and greedy, and it's never enough for them. It has nothing to do with economic prosperity. And what I love is, in the beginning, how he pretends to care about jobs. Whenever they want to change the conversation, they're like, oh, you're trying to do justice and fairness? No, you got to talk about jobs. Really? How many jobs bills did the Republicans propose once they got in control of the House? None. Of course, what they called a jobs bill is cutting taxes for the rich. They're like, yeah, trust us. If we just keep cutting for another couple of decades, it might create 1 or 2 jobs for yacht makers. Please. They don't give a damn about job creation unless it's an excuse not to talk about other important topics.